On June 3rd, 2020, a peaceful protest in Big Spring Park following George Floyd's death turned chaotic. When protesters moved to downtown and refused to leave the area, law enforcement using a variety of methods to disperse the crowds, including rubber bullets and a form of tear gas. Dozens of demonstrators were arrested. The events of that night had many calling for change. Huntsville Police Chief Mark McMurray defended the actions of his officers. The Huntsville Police Advisory Council conducted an in-depth investigation into what took place. In April, the third-party advisory council appointed by Huntsville City Council released recommendations for each agency involved. A year later, some of the protesters who were there that night plan to return to protest again. WAAY 31's Megan Reyna is live in Huntsville with what organizers want tomorrow night's demonstration to represent and what the mayor has to say about it. Megan?
I'm told tomorrow night's protests will be peaceful, family-friendly, and a call to action. But many of those protesters a year later feel like there's been little to no change when it comes to police reform and the relationship between law enforcement and the community.
It's surreal. Every time I always go back to Big Spring Park, and I really can't look at it the same.
Activist Brendan Lewis recalls the moments of protest that seemed to bring all types of people in Madison County together turned into a frightening memory.
I remember everyone had stopped, and then I see in the air these 4 tear gas canisters that they launched, and they were coming to right where we are. And I'm telling everyone to run, and people start noticing, and we start running because they start pushing again. So it was really crazy because they were using militarized tactics.
Remus Bowden was also there that night. He says he's felt not only frustrated with local law enforcement, but city leaders.
There's no reason why they can't petition the chief or petition the mayor or make some unilateral changes through the voting process to enact some meaningful police reform in the city.
Wednesday, Mayor Tommy Battle said safety is a priority within the city. At the same time, he understands people have a right to free speech.
How do we also make sure that everybody can exercise their rights, and everybody in this community has certain rights? And we work on that on a day-to-day basis, and as we work on that, we try to get better all the time. I think, if we had a message to tell everybody, we are working to get better each and every day.
Both Bowden and Lewis believe true change will only happen if there's new leadership.
What they did last year is not going to hinder us from coming back out there and letting our voices be heard, and letting them know that we aren't happy with what's happening in the city and this country.
The protest will begin at 5 p.m. at Big Spring Park. There will be speakers, and it'll be followed by a march in downtown. Reporting live in Huntsville, Megan Reyna, WAAY 31 News.